Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood as we start off our October Halloween 2024 month here on the Retro Blood, and we are talking all the 1980s Amityville horror movies that came out in the 80s. All right, we're doing our annual series review over here on the Retro Blood. And if y'all like preachers who dream about young boys killing their family and having sex with their sisters, if y'all like haunted houses, if y'all like a nice New York family where the dad's all pissed off all the time, and if you like courtrooms who were telling people he was just possessed by a demon, that's why he killed his whole family, then this is the movie for you, brother, because the Retro Blood is doing Amityville II, The Possession.
Man, yeah, and what a series this is.
Hold on, J.H, Alison, James Kline. Dude, have we already jumped the shark and we're on number 2?
Oh, dude, like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Oh my God.
I couldn't. And this movie gets good reviews from some people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, are you serious? Like, how can anyone watch this with a straight face and then I don't know. Like, Roger Ebert liked this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he hated Friday the 13th, but he liked this piece of shit. Like,
well,
really?
You know, maybe he's into, sister fucking. Maybe, you know what I mean?
I couldn't say it quick enough.
You know what I mean? Maybe he just maybe that was floating in his boat. He was like, "Yeah, brother, take off that gown, girl."
Oh man! Like, as soon as that happened, I was like, "No, no." I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, my thing was like, what I wanted to ask you was like, I was gonna be like, Alison, was that in the book? All right, it was
not any book that I read.
Because apparently, obviously this number 2 is very loosely, and I use that term very loosely, based on the first series of murders that happened in the Amityville house.
Yeah, kind of. Very loosely.
Very loosely. And it's also based on another book too that we'll talk about. But it's also supposed to be a loosely based a prequel to the first movie, even though I don't really see how, because we had the house like blow up kind of at the end. And I didn't see the Frank preacher, maybe he was the one that was haunting the Lutz family, or the Lutz family.
I don't know, I guess so. But it kind of implies that it's a prequel about the DeFeos, but then it also seems like it's a movie that took place after the other movie.
It was his own thing, Alison. All right, come on now.
It was its own thing.
It's up there.
There's nothing like this.
Sonny getting possessed by a demon, killing his family, having sex with his sister brother, and getting off scot-free. That's the moral of the story, brother. The moral of the story is, if you get caught killing and fucking your sister, just tell them you got a demon in you.
Yeah, that'll solve the problem every time.
Yes. So let's do some of this before we get going. First of all, me and Alison are traveling this week. You know what I mean?
Are.
Because we live the gimmick, brother. Well, mine's for work, but he lives the gimmick, brother. Okay, going out there, doing our thing. So if we don't sound as crisp as we usually do, that's why. Because we're doing all of them for 2 hotels in 2 different states. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Where you're in? Where are you at?
So for work, right now I'm in. Actually, you know what's cool? Right now I'm in Indianapolis. And I'm right by the Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm like 5 minutes
from where SummerSlam's going to be next year.
No, Royal Rumble.
Oh, I'm sorry, Royal Rumble, yes.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, bro. Have you ever seen that stadium? It looks huge. It looks like a big, giant lunchbox.
It is huge. It's a huge football stadium. It's a terrible place to watch wrestling.
Well, it could be pretty tough. I don't know. I never watched it. So
it would be like watching. It would be, well, it's probably not as big as the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, but you saw WrestleMania there. It'll be like that.
Yeah.
Unless you get like a really good seat.
Yeah, which is probably going to be like super duper expensive. Hell, our fucking Tropicana Field tickets were expensive as shit. We could barely see anything.
It was okay. It was better than I thought it was going to be, the Tropicana Field tickets, but I wouldn't want to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too big of a place to watch wrestling in, I think.
Yeah. And then where you at today?
Oh yeah, where I'm at. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona right now. I came out here to see Iron Maiden on Wednesday.
Yeah, Betty, Iron Maiden. Yeah. Is this their tour that they're doing like all these special songs on?
Yes. So this is the Future Past tour. So not to make too long of a story, but Maiden kind of got fucked up by COVID because they were going to release a new album in 2019, I believe, called Senjutsu, which it didn't come out until 2021. And they were doing a legacy tour in 2018 and 19, which pushed 2019, 2020, which pushed their schedule off. So they didn't release the album. They held the album for a year until 2021, or a little more than a year. And then they came back and finished Legacy of the Beast. And they added 3 songs from their new album, Senjutsu, into that set list. But this is kind of the official Senjutsu tour. But it's also a legacy tour in that they call it Future Past. So 5 of the songs are from the new album Senjutsu, and 5 of the songs are from the classic Somewhere in Time album that came out in 1986. So they're playing those songs some of those songs for the first time in decades, plus a few classics. So it is kind of a special tour. But yeah, I saw it's the same tour that I saw last year in Calgary. But I got to see Maiden as many times as possible.
Got to do it, man. Some good old stuff there. Well, have fun out there, Alison. And just think, you're probably the only Maiden fan that is about to review Amityville II, The Possession. With you can tell if you ever meet, Iron Maiden stuff, just be like, before I saw you guys, I saw our boy Sonny turn into a demon and fuck his sister. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably all about that.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Good stuff over here. But another thing too is luckily we could do this show because obviously I told everybody this past week on the Lights Out, which I had to drop on our normal. So the Lights Out I dropped it on the day that this show was supposed to come out. Right. It's because that our beloved Asheville obviously got hit by that Hurricane Helene, and it's really devastated it a lot. I updated everybody that me and you are okay. We just don't have any. Well, at the time we didn't have any Wi-Fi or cell phone service. My house actually got both of those back, luckily. We're not sure about yours yet because you're still, it was still out.
I'm still on the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got power back on Tuesday, so I actually was pretty lucky.
Yeah. And
I got power back pretty early, but still no cell phone service at home. I still have to drive about 20 miles to get any kind of cell phone service.
Yeah.
Which is actually better than it was. I was having to drive 40 minutes or so, but it's pretty bad. I mean, I actually kind of honestly feel like last week I spent some time helping some friends like dig out and, help try to help, what I can with local businesses and things. And then, which I wasn't a lot of help, but I did the best I could. But but I kind of feel bad because I feel like I just ran out on everybody in a way, but I did have this plan for months.
Yeah.
And I was lucky that I was able to take this trip even with the hurricane and everything. So,
yeah. I mean, shoot, man, freaking, when the day, the hurricane hit on that Friday, and by that Monday I was in Texas. So I was like, because my job, like I said, I travel a lot, and this is my traveling schedule was like for these next 2 weeks right here. So yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're out there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, anybody, donate to any kind of, relief funds out there for Asheville, because they desperately need it right now. Like I said before on the lights out, me and Alison's house didn't really get a lot of damage to it. Like I said, the only thing that we got mostly was the power outages and then the no Wi-Fi and cell phone service over there. So I think, Alison, do you want to say something about this GoFundMe for this local brewery shop that you go to?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, down here where we live, it's been kind of devastating. Like a lot of the town just doesn't exist anymore. Anything below Main Street was basically washed out. And some really good friends of mine, Chris and Jess Whaley from Whaley Farm Brewery, they're basically going to have to rebuild the brewery from what I understand. Like it was, I've seen the inside of it and it looked really bad. Like, basically the foundation looks like it's just like been pushed up. It's just cracked and you can like look down into a big hole in the ground. And they do have insurance, but I really don't know what insurance would cover. And I don't think they're 100% sure what insurance is going to cover too. But from my understanding, they're going to be closed for basically a year. And, that's basically a year without income. So, just think about that, like going an entire year without making any money, while spending money trying to rebuild something. But they're doing a GoFundMe. They're trying to raise $100,000, which is going to go to rebuild. It's going to go to helping support their employees, because all their employees are obviously out of a job too, and then support those guys for a year. And I don't know how much good it'll do, but I did want to mention it because these guys have been really, really nice to me, and these guys, have really stood up for me.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of good beer.
They do, yeah. I pretty much almost exclusively drink their beer now. Well, I guess not now, but now it's hard for me to even find beer that I want to drink, because Chris's beer is all I've wanted for the past 2 years, and now I'm like, what am I going to do for a year?
Yeah,
maybe I'll just not drink for a year. But yeah, they have a GoFundMe up. I'll put it on the Instagram page, and maybe you can put it on the Facebook page. And if anybody out there can give anything at all, any amount probably helps. I'm going to donate what I can, as long as they keep it open. I'll donate every so often. But they're really good people. And they need help.
Yeah. Do you know what the name of it?
The name of the GoFundMe?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to see. Like, I don't really do GoFundMe, but it says Rebuilding Whaley Farm Brewery Together.
Okay.
But the Whaley GoFundMe. But they, they've been there 2 years, and they're a huge part of the community, but they're going to have to like rebuild everything. And then start making beer again, of course, because, I don't even know if their brewery equipment's going to be able to be used. They may have to replace all of that too.
Yeah.
But they're going to, like all the Oktoberfest was dumped, and they're going to have to dump everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's bad. They're not the only people that need help, but they're the only ones I know that have a GoFundMe right now. And if anybody else does, I'll find out about it and we'll talk about it later. But, yeah, those guys are really cool, and they really need help.
Yeah, definitely support them, man. Local business and, local good old beer shop pumping out that beer.
Yeah.
Help them out if y'all can. Just check it out.
Yeah. Any amount helps.
Yeah.
Even if it's one good old American dollar or whatever. Yeah. Any amount helps.
Any amount helps there. Yeah, and then, like I said, we'll post it on the Instagram and the Facebook page, the link for you to go on there. So just look out for that. But yeah, other than that, we're doing A-okay. Talking about some haunted houses. Even though, like, you know what's weird about this, and we'll get into it when we talk about it, was like I felt like this is more like a demon possession than like the house being haunted.
I thought this was basically a ripoff of The Exorcist, especially the ending. But I'll talk about when we get there.
That sounds about right. All right, so let's do the history segment on here.
All right.
Probably whenever me and Alison can kind of get back to our studios at the house, we might bring up some more beer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though like I did have a beer at the bar down here, but I didn't ask him which one it was. But it was an Oktoberfest, and it was okay.
I had an Oktoberfest at dinner tonight when I went out.
Yeah, I just forgot to ask her what brand it was. I was like, fuck. So. Damn. Did you hear that?
What is it?
Oh, okay. It was just somebody. It sounded like somebody racing out there. All right. So,
outside you? Oh.
Yeah, it's near me.
Okay.
So let's get to the history segment. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on around the movie's release date, or what was going on in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music around September 24th, 1982. So we're in the 82s, brother. So this film basically came out like 3 years after the original one, huh?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It took 79 to 82, yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first thing I got is I'm just going to talk about this little show that I watched. I didn't write any notes down for it.
Okay.
But if you go to the Peacock, that still has all the WWE library on there. And if you go to the Mid-South Wrestling and you look up September 25th, 1982, I watched that episode. And like these Mid-South shows are not bad. And it's just like it's like every time we talk about the 80s, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it just blows my mind that like from 1980 to about 84 or 80, it's just so different of what 84 and beyond's gonna look like compared to like this earlier 70s and 80s part, because on this whole show they were promoting this Mr. Wrestling 2. All right?
Uh-huh.
We talk about him every once in a while. But like it's basically just some old man with an old man body and a mask.
Oh,
and like
really?
he has like one move where he does like this fucking it's like that knee, it's like a knee it's kind of like that Triple H thing where he did the knee and he kind of brings her face to the knee.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but that's what he was doing it. And like he's just like all over the show. It's just crazy. Like he's in a match. He's in like this other backstage match. He's in the lumberjack match that they had on here. He was just all over this thing. And I just thought it was just so bland. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I got to know. Maybe at the time, you know, he was like a big star. But I wasn't feeling Mr. Wrestling 2. They did have... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, Mr. Wrestling 2 was old in 1982.
Yeah.
I mean, he was born in like the 30s. He was like wrestling in like the 50s. The guy he wasn't wrestling as Mr. Wrestling 2, I don't think, but that guy was wrestling like, you know, back in the 60s at least. So he probably was pretty old.
Yeah.
You know, back then.
He's probably just one of those legacy wrestlers right now. You know,
yeah, I mean, even in his 50s. Yeah. Yeah.
So then we had, I think my favorite part of this show was we had Don Kernodle, and we had what's his name, Bill Watts on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Watts obviously is the owner of Mid-South, and he was saying like, all right guys, we got a lot of people coming to the Mid-South, everybody from all over the world. Here's a newcomer coming over here from the jungle. We have the Ugandan giant Kamala.
Ooh,
I was like, oh shit, what? And then we have this video. This fucking VHS camera video of Kamala just hanging out in some tall bushes.
Yeah,
doing faces and doing, you know, jungle shit. Like God, I wish I could show you right now, Alison. You would love this because it's just him just him posing and doing like faces, and then they just cut from different basically he's in tall grass, probably like Bill Watts' backyard. Okay.
I was gonna say it can't be worse than what WWE did with him, where they put him with a guy in a safari hat, and then they would like hide behind like palm trees that are not palm trees, but like this big leaf plants that you see in the jungle or whatever, and they're probably like fake plants, and they're just like poking their head up behind them or whatever.
I mean, it was basically like that, but like way more low rent.
Yeah.
Now Kamal, he looked good because he's like younger at this particular point.
Oh yeah, that guy's a great wrestler.
And they kept saying he was like 7 foot or whatever. I was like, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
The other thing I liked about this show too was the tag team, which I think this is like a really famous tag team in Mid-South, was Ted DiBiase before he was the $1 Million Man, and his heel tag team partner, and I quote, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Weird. Not Duggan.
No.
So when he was a heel, he was Dugan.
He was Dugan. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the heel.
I don't know if I've ever seen him as a heel.
He's actually pretty good. I mean, I kind of preferred him more as a heel than that like dumb character he did for his whole career. Besides when he was Mr. Canada, that was pretty funny.
Is he not doing? I guess he's not doing the American flag gimmick here.
No, he just like just some country boy in black tights, pissed off. There you go. That's all you need.
So he's basically playing himself.
Yes. And they're in a feud with. I don't remember the other guys, the partner that came out here. Even though you'll like this in a second. They're in with this other wrestler. I think he wears a mask. I forgot the name. And the Junkyard Dog, which obviously the Junkyard Dog was like their big star in Mid-South. Yeah. And they actually had a quick squash with Junkyard on here, and I was like, man, I was pretty impressed by him because just like the way he looked and everything, like he looked huge, like he looked jacked, he looked in good shape. So this part is like funny. So apparently the Ted DiBiase and Dugan, they lost the Mid-South tag belts, okay, while not getting pinned. I guess they did some underhand tactics, so the office took the belts away from them and gave it over to Junkyard and his partner.
That's not fair, man.
Yeah, so after they did a squash match with Dugan and Ted called out, Junkyard and his partner. And so Junkyard already did like a squash match. Bro, Junkyard's squash match was like maybe like less than 2 minutes. Okay?
Yeah. So
then Junkyard's partner comes out there. He's saying like, why you guys challenge me and Junkyard? He's back there. He's taking a shower. I was like, bro, his shower was like fucking longer than the match. Okay?
Wow.
He's like, all right, well, I'm going to go get him from a shower. All right? And we're going to come back here and fight you all. And then, of course, they jump him before he can do that. And then the other wrestlers come in there and take him away. But, bro, I'm not, like, this promo his partner was doing with them probably took like maybe like 6-7 minutes. That was longer than the whole match that Junkyard had. But, man, this guy, Junkyard, he must take long showers because he was in there for a long time.
Right. Oh, you got to, man. When you're in the junkyard.
It's true. Getting all that sweat off you, brother.
I was about to say sweat on what? It's all dirty there? Yeah, you gotta take the shower, man.
So, other than that, there was like this lumberjack match and stuff. It was okay. They had the one-man gang on there. So, it was okay show.
I love that guy.
Mid-South's one of those shows where you kind of have to like watch it from like the beginning. You know what I mean? And then watch it like maybe week by week. It's not the best when it's like you can't really pick it up just out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think a lot of good wrestling is like that, though. Like, like that means you're telling a good story that makes people want to come back.
Yeah.
Instead of, it just being like, I don't know who any of these people are, but I'm going to, but I can watch the show and understand it. Which, I mean, there is a lot to be said for that, but I feel like the long-term storytelling is something that's missing out of wrestling. And WWE only in the last couple of years has brought that back.
Yeah.
And their product is so much better because of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's a lot of long-term storytelling that's coming out of Bad Blood, which was Friday.
Yeah.
But I feel like I live in, speaking of that, I feel like I live in like the 1800s or something. I had to like wait 2 days to find out what happened at a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't watch it. Yeah.
I had no access to anything. I couldn't watch it. I haven't seen it still. I had no access to watch it. So I'm just like, so 2 days later, I'm like driving out to get cell signal to find out who won this pay-per-view. But yeah, I mean,
if you watch it,
yeah,
all you gotta watch is the Hell in a Cell match and the main event. That's it. We're not missing anything else.
Oh yeah. Nothing else is important. They built that whole show around those 2 matches, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the storytelling that's coming out of Bad Blood, that would have been a great show for us to be at.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yep. Too bad them tickets, man. Shit.
Yeah, that dude. Like, I know we're getting off topic a little bit, but I did want to, for the record, say this is the first time I've ever been priced out of a wrestling show.
Yeah.
This is the first wrestling show that was just too expensive for me to go to. I mean, like, it was fucking crazy. Like, I swear the tickets for Bad Blood were more than the Royal Rumble tickets.
Yeah, I mean, they did say on the pay-per-view that was the highest grossing arena show that they ever done. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no shit. I mean, like, the last row in the very top of the nosebleeds was like almost $200.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And the show sold out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how they are nowadays. You know what I mean? They're just going to be chopping that shit up.
I mean, it's just fucking hot. It's just the hottest thing going right now.
So, what do we got going on, Alison? What kind of metal music are we going to be listening to while we're watching Possession? We're watching Frank talk about religious stuff while he's throwing religious water on you that turns into blood.
So, strangely enough, this I did find an album that came out on October the 2nd, 1982, which was a few days after this movie came out, which strangely goes very well with this movie. It's we've talked about this band before, but we talked about their album Balls to the Wall, which is the next album they put out after this one. But this is Accept, and they released an album called Restless and Wild, October 2nd, 1982. And I actually like Restless and Wild better than Balls to the Wall, even though Balls to the Wall is like their big breakthrough album. This would be like their, this is like their Kill 'Em All versus their Ride the Lightning, if you will. But it's strange how it kind of goes along with the movie a little bit, with the title Restless and Wild, which kind of goes along with Sonny's disposition.
Yeah, and Demon Knight.
And Demon Knight, and then Don't Go Stealing My Soul Away. This is a really good album. Did you listen to it at all when I suggested it to you?
Yes, I did.
Because the song Fast as a Shark is like the most known song. It's the hit, if you will. Excuse me. It's the hit, if you will, from this album. But like if you listen, so this is 1982, right? So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So Metallica exists, but they don't have anything out yet. But there is no way that you can tell me that the song Fast as a Shark did not make a blueprint for what Metallica did with Kill 'Em All. Like, it sounds exactly like Kill 'Em All. Or Kill 'Em All sounds almost exactly like this. It's almost like a lot of people joke about Iron Maiden and say with the galloping and everything, like that they listened to Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin and said, let's make an album based on that song. Or let's make a band based on that song. It's almost like Metallica listened to Fast as a Shark and said, let's make a band based on what this song sounds like. But it has the fast double bass, the real fast riffing like Kill 'Em All has. Obviously the vocals are different because Udo Dirkschneider is he's like a power metal singer almost. Like he's got that high screamy voice.
Yeah.
But But yeah, this album is fantastic. What are your thoughts on it?
So I did like the song "Get Ready."
Yeah.
I was getting ready to it. Okay. No, I thought it was good. It was kind of like one of those kind of like that. It has like that 80s beat that I really like. Yeah. Demon Night was a fun one. When I was listening to that one on there too. And then the one that caught me off guard, I think it was like the Neo Nights, where he sounded exactly like AC/DC.
That one's a little different. Yeah, that one does sound a little bit like an AC/DC song in a way. I get that too. Yeah.
And apparently to the singer, what's his name? Udo
Dirkschneider.
Yeah, Udo Dirkschneider.
Which has to be the most German name of all time.
I wonder if he likes a good Oktoberfest, brother.
Oh, I guarantee he does. We should have Oktoberfest beers with Udo Dirkschneider sometime.
Oh, that'd be wild.
Yeah.
I can ask him about. So when you were thinking of the song Demon Night, did you know Amityville 2 was coming out?
And why was it not on the soundtrack? This could be the soundtrack to this movie.
I don't know if they wanted to associate with the. It wasn't that bad. The movie wasn't that bad, but there's certain parts to it.
But it's not that good.
Well, either. So I'm basically with this band is they have a pretty good sound. The guy's voice is, like you say, very power metal style. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of influences and stuff. You know, they kind of have like a mix between like AC/DC, Motley Crue, Judas Priest, Quiet Riot, stuff like that. So I mean, I liked it. I thought that was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my favorite album. The guy's voice isn't my favorite voice, but there was songs on this album that I did like. Mainly the Get Ready and the Demon's Night. I like those two, and the first one was good too. The Fast as a Shark. Mm. So I would say that those ones are kind of like, I was digging them. So, but yeah, everybody, maybe we'll play a song at the end because I'm gonna bring that shit back. Fuck it. Fuck the copyrights.
Fuck.
We don't give a shit. We're punk rock on here anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck making money from YouTube.
Yeah. I don't make any money from it anyway. Screw your ass. Like, even when I don't put any copyrights, they still copyright me. I'm like, well, fuck y'all. All right.
I wonder why. I wonder what we're doing. I don't know.
I have an idea, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you later.
All right.
So, but yeah, that's what's going on. So we have some stuff going on in the metal music and in the the Accept album. I would say definitely that this would, if we're rocking in 1982, and you brought that the cassette tape or the vinyl in the Trans Am, I'd be like, I would dig it. You know what I mean? I would have my handlebar mustache with the mullet that's curly. You know what I'm talking about? And then like it's kind of like you have the bangs in the front and then the mullet in the back is curly. With the jean jackets, brother.
Man, love those jean jackets.
And my fanny pack would be filled with two things. It'd be filled with a Budweiser and a bottle opener to open the Budweiser. There you go. All right. So, but let's move on to the who booked this shit, brother.
Yeah, who booked this shit?
If they say he's a porn director, I'll be like, you know what? I'd believe you. But let's see. We have Amityville 2, The Possession was directed by Supernatural. It was a supernatural horror film by Domino. What's his fucking name?
I was just waiting on this one.
Dominio Damana. You know I hate these.
You're saying names. Syllables now. I think so. My Italian is not very good.
Oh, you think yours is bad?
I think his name is pronounced Damiano Damiani.
Damiano Damiani. Ah, yes, My Damiano Damiani. Well, would she take her blouse off? Tell her to pull her hair and say she has a fine neck.
Exactly. We'll just call him D.
Oh yeah, our boy D. All right. So let's see what his D has done. So he's done. How the hell did he get this fucking movie?
he's made mostly Italian crime movies.
Yeah. Yeah. A Man on His Knees. There you go. All right. How to Kill a Judge. All right. The Devil is a Woman. And then we have Envyville II. The Percentage. Oh, the Pizza Connection. What's that?
Pizza Connection is a good movie, actually. I saw it under a different name. No, it's like a crime, like a Italian gangster movie. It's pretty good. He made that after this movie, though.
Very interesting. I wonder how he got.
I'm trying to see
if
he's made any movies that I've actually watched. My guess is, well, it's 1982. So a lot of those Italian directors were starting to get kind of big in horror films at this time.
Yeah.
Or like, for people in the know, Argento, Fulci, those guys were kind of becoming a known commodity. So they're like, hey, let's just get this Italian director to make our American horror movie.
Don't forget my boy Brava.
Oh yeah, Mario Bava, or there's Mario and Lamberto. We've done movies with both those guys, but they a lot of those guys were already working. As is another tangent, but a lot of those guys were already working in Hollywood, but they were working under assumed names. Like they didn't use their Italian names; they used these like really fake sounding American names.
Like what, Fred?
I'm trying to think of one right now, but but it was all just like fake, like
Fred Warner.
Look at me, I'm an American. It was like I don't know, Sam American or something like that. It was just like the most like. I'll try to think of one sometime during this show if I can. But none of them come to the top of my head, but they're all hilarious.
There was nothing in this film that reminded me of any Italian horror at all, except for maybe except for maybe Sonny. I guess he was very interesting. But no, they basically did. Well, you know what? They did have the first person view a lot. Like the Evil Dead camera. I actually, I was thinking about that when I was watching this film. The camera where you just like, you're just walking with the camera up really closely to wherever you're going, and you kind of get a lot of scenery shots for that. And I think the most famous one that did it was Evil Dead. Then Halloween did it too. When Michael put on the mask and he went up there to kill his sister. But I was trying to think, like, what was the first movie that did that in horror? And the only one I can come with is like Black Christmas, because I know they did.
Black Christmas did that, yeah. That might be the first one.
Yeah, with that that one shot steady cam, and it's all like seeing from the killer or the demon's eyes. So, but yeah, they did that a lot in this film. So this is also written by. The screenplay was written by Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yeah, that was shocking to me when I actually watched this.
Yes, because we talk about him a lot because he's directed such great films. Has one of my favorite films in Alison's 2, Halloween 3.
Halloween 2. Halloween 3.
He did 3, yes. He did Season of the Witch, and he did Fright Night Part 2. All right.
But he didn't write Halloween 3, correct? He only directed it?
No, he only directed it, yeah. And check it out in the archives, everybody, because me and Alison have done Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and that's actually one of my favorite reviews we've ever done.
That's a great movie. I don't know why people don't like it.
With Cochran.
According to this, he was credited as a writer on Halloween 3.
He probably did both.
Although I think it was a rewrite from Nigel Neal, who they got to, I believe, got to write the original one. But I'm just bringing that up off the top of my head. I cannot remember that for sure. But yeah, I don't know what went wrong with this. I think that's honestly one of the reasons I was so disappointed with it, because when I saw that Tommy Lee Wallace wrote it, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And then then we got what we got.
Yeah, I know, because he's done he also did directing and editing, and most of his career, it looks like he works with the John Carpenter. But yeah, I mean, apparently, actually, it's crazy. He was actually he was writing and helped writing Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Apparently, he helped write that, and he directed it, and he wrote Amityville II: The Possession in the same year, 1982. That's when they both came out. So he was doing both of those at the same time. Maybe on his brain, he was like, you know what? I got this script for Amityville 2. I'm gonna have this guy fuck his sister, and then I'm gonna make the newest supervillain known to man called Cochrane. That's what he was thinking in 1982.
Wow. Probably.
And a movie that I didn't realize there was one, Fright Night Part 2. Mike said, wait, no, we did Fright Night Part 2, right?
Yeah. I think we. Well, wait, no, did we?
I can't remember. We can't even remember.
We've done a lot of shows now. I can't remember if we've done.
How many beers was that before we did that? I know we did Fright Night.
That we did Fright Night. Yeah, that was a lot of beers ago. I think that you didn't. We didn't do it because you didn't know that it existed, and I thought it came out in the 90s, so I never mentioned it. And I think that's what I think we ended up not doing. But I think we decided we were going to do it at one point.
Yeah. Because I see it on here. It did come out of May 19, 1989, so it made the cut. So yeah, we'll come back and do the good old vampire Fright Night.
Because we're going to do a vampire month again anyway next year.
Yeah, there you go. Save it for everybody. So let's get it going on here. So he took the screenplay off this book from Hans Holzer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Entitled Murder in Amityville. You ever read that book?
I have not. I think I've read some other Hans Holzer books, but not that one. So I'm assuming that was based on the DeFeo murders?
Well, apparently it got re-released under the title Amityville: Fact or Fiction.
Okay.
You ever seen that show Fact or Fiction with the dude from Star Trek?
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes. Yeah.
God, I love that fucking show. That's a great show. What do they do any sister fuckings in this book?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hans Holzer was the guy. We should have talked about him probably on the last episode on the Lights Out, because he was one of the people that was at the Warrens that investigated the haunting. And he wrote a book about it.
Okay, so I guess the plot is basically he tries to explain why Ronald Defoe Jr. killed his family at the 1112 Ocean Avenue. It revolves around Ronald Jr. Has he experiences strange events in that house up until he kills his entire family on November 13, 1974. It goes on to explain that he was possessed, that he did not want to kill his family. It introduces controversial events. It is also based on Defoe's explanation of why he says he killed his family.
Yeah, basically he says
it's a demon.
In the book he brings up, he's the one that came up with the idea that they were on a Indian burial ground.
Oh yeah, that gimmick.
And then, but the actual Indian tribe says that's not true, and that they have no evidence that any of their tribe was ever buried there. And so basically, it sounds like he made it up.
What about like when the when the priest is like the neighbor of the Amityville house or whatever? She goes and gets the priest and shows her all the magazine clippings and stuff. She's all like, "Yeah, somebody who used to do it was an escaped witch from Salem." And I was like, "An escaped witch from Salem? How the hell does that work? Where she showed up there burnt?"
I guess she escaped before she got burnt.
Okay. So let's see.
Makes as much sense as anything else in this movie.
Oh, actually, no, my bad. It was a exiled witch. Like she was too much. She was too much of a witch to be a witch in Salem, so they sent her to Amityville to be a witch.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So a couple of things. So apparently the film mostly took place at the same Toms River, New Jersey residence featured in the first film, while interiors were shot on a soundstage in Mexico. Check this one out. I have to see this. So after test screenplays were completed, Dimendia's original cut of the film was slightly cut down to the tone for its over sexual and rape sequences, which audience respond to unfavorably.
So there was more sister fucking is basically what we're talking about.
Yes, pretty much. This guy must have a fetish with it. He's like, okay, we're gonna have Sonny. He's gonna see his sister, and he's going to give her some loving in the highest fashion. So now the rape,
that wouldn't surprise me.
The only, I don't think he actually like raped her though. I think the rape was the only part that they were talking about that could have been in the story with the rape was the mom and the dad. Because remember the Patricia.
They did kind of talk about that.
Yeah, they talked about how she was talking about how the mom did not want to have sex with the dad anymore, and like she feels like the dad was forcing her. So maybe in his original version, he would just want to show all kinds of sex because those Italian men they like their hardcore sex, brother.
Maybe, but I think they were talking more about the sister thing. But the thing that disturbed me the most about the sister thing was that it would have disturbed me less if he had raped her. What was disturbing was that she just seemed to accept it like it was fairly normal.
Bro, they were flirting for the beginning of the film. That's why I couldn't tell if she was I didn't know if she was like a girlfriend or not.
Well, that's true. At first, it did seem like especially when they go to show him when they go up to the room in the top of the house. I couldn't tell. I was like, wait, are they dating or is that her sister? But yeah, super confusing.
So like you're saying, a lot of people gave this movie good reviews. And, I thought there were some parts of the film that were pretty fun. And I did like it where, we have Sonny slowly turning into a demon from Night of the Demons. That was cool. But, I think I kind of, I like the original one a little better because I thought the original one focused a bit more on the house actually being haunted. Yes. Compared to there just being some random demon who likes to have sex with people's sisters and talk bad about priests. You know what this reminded me of too? This film?
What?
It's like we got this story, okay, in the book, and it's like the truest telling that we can of all the facts that we know about the case. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they just gave it to Hollywood and they just Hollywooded up this thing. You know what I mean?
For this one?
For this movie, yeah. They just like this is pure just Hollywood all over this fucking thing. Religious crap everywhere. Fucking just witches going from Salem and Indian burial grounds, demons taking over spirits, and I was like, oh god, this has every fucking thing in it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it just strikes me as like, oh, the first one made money, make me another one.
Well, yeah, that too. So apparently, the Lux sued. George Lux wanted the sequel to the 1979 film to be based on the book The Amityville Horror Part II by John G. Jones. But the producer Dino secured a deal with American International Pictures for a sequel based on Murder in Amityville by Hans Holzler. Lux sued D and ultimately lost, but succeeded in having posters placed in theaters stating this film has no affiliation with George and Kathy Lux. So I guess, because obviously the Lux kind of made big money, fame, I guess, from the book and everything. And, well, they didn't make a whole lot of money, but they did gain fame from the book and the movie, So I guess maybe they had more of a stake in the John J. Jones book, the Amityville Horror Part II. So maybe that's why they wanted the film to be, take the rights of that one. But then it looks like Dino over here. He was like, that don't work for me, brother. We're going to do Murder in Amityville instead. Fact or fiction, brother. Because I know it's facts that Sonny's head blew up like a demon and became an alien. Because that's facts, brother.
Facts.
So the film was later acquired by Filmways, which in turn was acquired by Orion Pictures shortly before the release. So that's why the release company is Orion Pictures. So production was originally set to begin in September 1981 with a screenplay by David Ambrose and under the direction of John Hu. However, production was pushed back and they were both replaced. Principal photography began March 8th, 1982 at the same residence in New Jersey, like we talked about. After 2 weeks on location, New Jersey studio shooting was completed in Mexico for 8 or 9 weeks. Let's see.
Those guys dodged a bullet, if you ask me.
Yeah. Come on, we've seen worse. Right?
We have seen worse, yes.
All right, so it looks like some of my speculation was right. So check this one out. After director Damien, the big DD, originally cut of the DD brother, originally cut of the film was shown to test audience. Several scenes had to be cut out for various reasons. One of it being the negative reaction of the audience to a scene in which Anthony, the dad, rapes Dolores, and another scene in which Sonny and Patricia have, brother and sister sex. We see the whole thing. All right.
Oh, so there was just more of that in the movie.
Yeah. So basically, what we're talking about. So yeah, it looks like they actually show Anthony raping, Hollywood style raping Dolores and Sonny and Patricia getting it on. This scene was added into the script by D, who wanted to really upset the viewers. Oh yeah. The original scene was much more graphic and sexual, while in the movie it cuts to the next scene almost immediately after Sonny starts kissing Patricia. So some other deleted scenes were shown on lobby cards and stills from the movie, such as a scene in which Anthony is sitting outside of the house drinking and cleaning a gun, and a scene where Jan is pushing Mark's head under the water while he's in the bathtub. The theatrical trailer also shows a shot of Jan and Mark looking at the window and holding hands. The only deleted scene which was ever released in some form is the so-called Lost Souls scene, originally from near the end of the movie, in which souls that are within the house appear in front of Apsky and in front of Frank, the priest, and blesses them. No actual footage released, but the UK special collector, the DVD, includes several stills from this deleted scene. He wanted to upset the viewers by having them seen some family sex, brother.
Yeah, he just wanted it to be shocking, which and that would have been shocking for sure.
Yeah.
But it probably didn't make the movie better.
You know what? Come on, not too bad. But let's see if we can turn this around, because I say let's get into our first review of this Halloween October season 2024. Let's get into the Amityville II, The Possession.
Let's do it.
The night of February 5th, 1976, George and Kathleen Lutz and their 3 children fled their home in Amityville, New York, and never returned. For them, the horror was over. Their living nightmare shocked audiences around the world in the Amityville Horror. But before them, another family lived in this house and were caught by the original evil. The Lutzes escaped with their lives, but the previous owners weren't so lucky.
Look at it! Oh, ours! Heavenly Father, bless our new home and watch over us as we become a part of this.
For the Montelli family, it was their dream house until it turned into a nightmare.
Who's there?
I'm scared.
What was in this house? What evil could drive their son to madness and destroy everything and everyone he loved?
Mommy!
Now, Amityville II, The Possession.
All right. So we start off the film with a family moving in to the good old Amityville house. Still looks good. I like this mock set they have. I wonder if you could still tour this mock house. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about.
Well, is it? Well, it's a real house, right? That it's just a different Dutch colonial.
Yeah.
That they use for the outside. I mean, I'm sure that house is still there. It looks more like the Amityville house than the than the actual house does now.
Exactly. And I was thinking, like, you know, why would you not turn the original Amityville house into like at least an Airbnb or something like that? But I guess maybe they have a strong like HOA. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good point. They probably do actually have a really strong HOA. But I have a feeling. Well, we definitely know that at least one of the families didn't want to have anything to do with any kind of anything to do with the hauntings. So they even changed. They even remodeled the house.
Well, why the hell are they moving a murder house then?
Because they probably got a good deal on it.
True. I wonder if Frank's ghost is still in there. Anyway, we'll get to it. So this is when we meet the Montelli family. We have Anthony, Dolores, Sonny, which is the older son, who got a yelling from his dad because he wasn't telling his mom he got a pack of cigarettes. We have Patricia, which is like pretty much close to the same age as Sonny. Then we got the two younger ones, Mark and Jan. All right, and they're all moving into their new house over here. And like, you know, I know in the like the original story, you know, wasn't like the dad like rich and shit?
Well, I don't know that he was rich, but he was well off. He owned it. He was a business owner. He owned his own business.
Yeah.
What so he I think that's one of those what you call it departures from the original. This
Anthony
story.
guy looks like his job is to sit on the couch, drink beer, and like spill food on his wife beater.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
maybe he's really good in the stocks.
Well, the thing is, like, that's Burt. That actor is Burt Young, who's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
You may remember him from Rocky.
Yes.
He played Rocky's. He played Adrian's brother.
Yes.
And he's great in that. But this is essentially the same part. I don't know if I've ever seen Burt Young play a different part than this.
Nah. He plays the angry New York guy.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. Which, if I met Burt Young, I would just expect him to be exactly like this.
Yeah, exactly. So they're looking through the house, and they're wondering why all the windows are like nailed in. Which we don't really get like an explanation, even though like I guess it was the exiled Salem witch that nailed all her doors. You know, to keep the light out for the witchcraft. In there.
Maybe. But yeah, they never really go into why the windows were all nailed shut.
So we do have the movers and Sonny, when they look at the house, they get like a weird look in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then one of the movers finds a secret passageway where there's just a bunch of water, flies, and dirt around everywhere. And he gets it all over himself. And the mom apologizes, and then this is the first. There's a bunch of drinking games we could do on this review, and one of them is when we do the Black Christmas camera. So so the Black Christmas camera's there, first person view, and it touches the mom, and then Sonny comes up. She's like, "Hey, something touched me," and he's like, "What the hell?" And then this is when we get. So then we also get the. This is one was always weird because this is when we first get Sonny and Patricia like flirting with each other. Because when they were talking to each other in the bedroom and stuff, he was all saying, "You're ugly" and all this. You know, he was flirting with her basically. But I was like, okay, is this like his girlfriend he brought over or something like that? And like that was like his sister. I was like, okay, I wasn't. That's interesting.
I was completely off.
Yes. I was like, okay. They're just like flirting or something. So now the family is having some dinner. All right. And then the mirror falls. Mm-hmm. And then everybody starts getting all pissed off. Anthony just goes straight to Sonny. He just wants to beat his ass because he's an angry New York guy.
Because he obviously made the mirror fall while he was sitting there eating dinner.
And then the mom's all, Dolores is like, can't we all just enjoy a nice family dinner in our house? Look, the mirror's not even cracked. And of course, Sonny looks over the mirror and it's cracked a little bit. And he has a worried look in his eye. Oh, no.
Because his dad's going to blame him for the cracked mirror again. But, I don't know. Like, as soon as I saw this, I was already tired of this. I get tired of people who are, like, pissed off at everything all the time anyway. And, like, that's all I got out of Burt Young's character was he was just constantly pissed off about everything that happened.
Everything, brother.
No matter what happened, he was just immediately pissed off about it.
We have some fun stuff with him coming up soon.
True.
So now the ghost house demon is covering up Jesus crosses. Can't have that Jesus in the house, brother.
No.
And then now it starts knocking on the door, and what do you know, Anthony? He's pissed. Goes outside. First is like, oh, they got me. Then they start knocking again. He's all like, looks out there again. Then he starts bringing his gun and says, I'm going to shoot your asses. And then when that happens, they can hear some noises upstairs. And apparently in this version of the Amityville Horror, we can have floating objects.
Yeah.
Like paintbrushes.
That was a hell of a special effect, wasn't it?
And then the demon paintbrushes, they start painting the walls. And the house starts freaking out. That's another thing you drink too, is the house freaking out, because it does it a lot.
Right.
And they do like this, there's like this pig drawing. All right, there's demon pig. And guess what? Guess what, Alison?
Anthony gets pissed off about it.
Yes, he gets pissed off at the kids for fucking up the room.
So let me stop you right here. So then we get to this point. And, so he's pissed off because he thinks that they painted a pig on the wall and wrote, dishonor thy father.
Yes.
It's hard for me to believe that he would believe, well, this guy's an idiot, so maybe he would believe this, but it's hard for me to believe that anyone would think that these kids drew that with the paintbrushes and wrote that in the kind of cursive that's on. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe they maybe they learned it in art class.
Maybe they did, because he looks like a kind of guy who would send his kids to art class for sure.
Good.
But beyond that, he just witnessed the entire fucking house shaking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he obviously knows they didn't do that.
He probably thought he was just drunk.
Maybe.
All right. So he starts slapping his kids and shit, and the mom gets all pissy. Yeah. All right, so she tries to get him away. And then we have Sonny goes over there and pulls a gun on his ass.
Yeah, and then Sonny is about to blow his brains out.
About to blow him out, and then he doesn't. Dun, dun, dun. About to get him, but he doesn't.
Yeah, foreshadowing of things to come, maybe.
So now we have Dolores, and her idea is to go to church to to get the house blessed. All right. And when she's out at church, she meets Frank, which is our main priest over here, Father Frank Adamski. All right. And he agrees to bless this house. Okay. So it comes over there, right? Comes to the house. And the Anthony lets him in. Of course, he's pissed. He's like, what the hell? What are you doing here, priest? All right. And then...
overly
pissed.
Yeah, just like not like, oh, I don't go to church, so I don't really believe in this or whatever.
Yeah.
But just like outsized rage about her bringing the church into his house or something like that.
He's like, hey, I don't know. I don't go to church and you're bringing them to me. And then Dolores like, well, you just gotta have the house all blessed and stuff. Bring the kids. So then he goes over to the priest like, hey, priest, do you want to smoke? He's like, no. It's like, well, do you mind if I have one? And he's like, hey kid, ask the priest if he wants anything. And the priest's like, I'll take a water. So the kid's okay. And then next thing we know, we got the kids like choking this other one out. Hey, you're dead. Ha ha ha, I love you.
Dude, at that point, I would have cut this thing off if I wasn't watching it for this show. I was like, so the girl puts a plastic bag
like Black Christmas
over the boy's head, and then like, you're dead, and he's like can't breathe, and like it's insane. It's fucking insane.
So now the priest is about to start his blessing. All right.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to introduce Sonny, but he's not feeling well today. All right. Then while this happens, the kitchen gets all fucked up because the demons are fucking up the kitchen. And guess what, everybody? Anthony is pissed.
He's pissed because he thinks the kids made an earthquake and shook the kitchen.
And then he's about to slap these kids, and the priest is like, "Don't slap those kids." And then Anthony gets mad at the priest, saying, "Just do what you got to do and get on out of here." And of course, the priest leaves because he's so offended by Anthony being pissed off and trying to slap a bunch of kids. All right. And then he goes to his car and he sees a ripped up Bible.
Yep, ripped up in a million pieces.
So now the mom, Dolores, wants Anthony to go apologize to the priest tonight, or she's leaving and she's not coming back, brother. All right. And then Patricia tells Sonny, hey, Snotty, are you coming to church? I'm going to call you Snotty from now. Hey, Snotty.
Hey, Snotty. No, from now on, yeah. Right. Hey, Snotty, coming to church.
Basically, Sonny's staying behind because he's sick or whatever, and they all leave. And then, of course, Sonny starts hearing noises. We have some house objects trying to attack him. He grabs a gun. He hears some more noises. Goes in the basement. Hears some more noises. Goes to the hidden wet bee or fly area, and he sees a hand. And then we have some more first-person camera. And then we have a pipe going off. We have some laughing. We have some upside-down shot of him. All right. Then Sonny goes upstairs. He starts shooting nobody for no reason. And then the gun starts to float in the air. And then we have like this first-person shot. And then for some reason, we have Sonny. He's now like on like a bed. And then he's getting like super skinny. And I guess the demon goes through his stomach.
Yeah, I thought this scene was really weird too, because basically it just looks like he's just like sucking in his stomach to where you can see his ribs.
Well, I was going to ask you.
That's the demon going into him.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Alison. So so what you're telling me is, if you're possessed by a demon, it's basically like Weight Watchers.
Well, yeah, essentially, yeah.
It can make you skinny, brother. Weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shed those pounds for summer, get a demon up in you.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, the problem is though, you do grow a tumor like he did in his head,
and then become murderous and demon possessed. But yes. Yeah,
I like my notes here. House goes crazy again. and I put house goes sleep with no lights on. like the house. It looked like the house just went to sleep.
Yeah.
So now we have the first person view again, showing the house off. So now Sonny's up. He's visiting the Patricia girl, and he can't remember, what happened. And then she's like, because she's saying like, "Hey man, you can't look like shit. You look a little terrible." And this is when Patricia brings up like, "Yeah, Dad, he apologized and stuff. Then he took us all out for a steak dinner, and he was trying to get Mom drunk." Oh, by the way, I don't know if like Mom and Dad are like sleeping well together. You know what I mean? It feels like they argue a lot, and Dad's like forcing himself on her. By the way, you look like shit. was like, oh, okay, that was a random story just to tell us right there.
It was a lot of exposition that they had to put into the story, and they had like 2 minutes to do it. So let's have Patricia say all of these things.
If I may.
You may.
So now, Sonny Demon over here is getting a little hot and wild. He's like, let me see if I can do his voice. I know it's a little hard with our setups over here. I don't got my main setup. He's all like, Patricia, I never noticed it about you, but I think I might be wrong. I think you might be an actual beautiful girl. How about you take off your blouse? Oh, what are you talking about? I can take off my blouse. How about you just take off your blouse for 2 seconds? Okay. How about you? How about you?
Because that's perfectly normal.
How about you put your hair up? Oh yes, you got a beautiful neck. This fucking guy. It is all like, I got a secret for you. All right. Here you go. Is that my fucking panties? Yeah, I found them in the laundry.
And I kept them.
Now we're gonna kiss and fuck. I was like, well, okay, that's how it's done.
That is not how it's done.
There you go, everybody. If you ever wanted to, fornicate with your sibling there, just find their panties in the laundry, act all creepy, and talk like this, and it'll be all good.
Yeah, this whole scene is full of red flags.
So, and I was still convinced. I was like, wait a minute. Are they like brother and sister? What's going on here? Okay. So I was like, and then okay, and then we cut right to her, Patricia, talking to Frank and confessing on her sins, saying hey, I just want to know, I did it with but she's basically saying with my friend, we went all the way and I feel very guilty about it. All right. And then the priest's like, well, when people love each other, I was like, well, I don't really love them. He's like, oh, is it only sexual then? All right. He's like, no, I think he had sex with me because he wants to hurt God. I was like, wait, what? I didn't get any of that.
I was about to say, how does she jump to that conclusion?
Well, maybe she thought her panties were God. All right. And then
maybe
Sonny's smelling them with his creepy, sweaty man stuff is disrespecting God.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
So she cries and leaves. Very confused. This whole scene with them, I guess to be honest with you, maybe the way it was cut, it would just, I could tell that they were flirting from the beginning. If there was if they acted more like brother and sister throughout the whole film, I think it would have been more shocking them getting it on. You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of it seems to me like they almost originally didn't have them as brother and sister, and then they rewrote the script and forgot to change all these scenes.
Yeah.
Where they're flirting and such.
Or we got to make it shocking. All right, don't forget that. So now Sonny's walking down. Here's a message saying, "Stay away from him." He's like, "What the fuck?" And the priest is there, all right, talking to Dolores, and Dolores is happy that he's, gonna bless the house this time because of all the apologies and everything they did on him. So he starts blessing the house, and she says the son stays upstairs, but he's not, he's upstairs and not really been talking to us. He's not really happy to see us lately. And I put the priest sees Sonny Goth upstairs, all depressed.
Yeah.
Door closes on him. He asks why are you hiding and stuff? And he wants to be alone. He asks if there's anything he can do. All right, and he says you can talk to me anytime. This is what the priest saying. You can talk to me anytime you want. And this is the part where I was like, I thought we were gonna have some cheating on here. The mom is gonna be Dolores. She was bringing the priest to her bed. She was all or her bedroom was like, hey, can you bless my bedroom? Frank's like, oh yeah, no problem. She's like, oh yeah,
sure, no problem.
Can you get the bed too? Huh? And he's blessing the bed, and then there's blood all over it. They start freaking all out. And then it was all the Sonny demon doing. He did it.
Yeah, all of his little holy water thing was full of blood.
Yeah, they're all like freaking out on it. Now Frank, he goes back to the house, and he goes back to his house and reads more Bible stuff. All right, and then this is when Patricia comes by to visit the priest. All right, he wants her to confess, next week and stuff, and then she invites him to Sonny's birthday party. And he said he can't because he has to do his sermon, coming this Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then the phone rings, and apparently some guy named Clay is having a stroke, and he needs to leave. All right, and then of course Patricia's all worried because he really wants to tell the priest stuff and have him help her. So then we're at the Sonny's birthday party. All the kids are saying happy birthday to him. He's trying to blow out the candles, but nothing, because he's a demon. He doesn't have breath. I guess he has like a non-breath.
Well, no, I thought it was like a gag candle.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it was. Yeah, that's right. It was a gag candle.
Like a joke candle.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's like hugging his mom and his siblings and stuff. Everybody's all happy. Patricia gives him a sweater.
Mm.
All right. Sonny's like
very, which I guess is a very fashionable thing at the time. Yeah, one thing we did forget to mention that the demon keeps talking to him through his Walkman headphones.
Yes, that's what he was saying, like, get away from him or do it or kill him and stuff. It's all through the Walkman.
Yeah, like when he was
those deadly demon CD. What do you think he's listening to backwards?
Judas Priest.
Yeah, Judas Priest backwards. That's to tell him to do it. So the big takeaway from this party though is when Sonny was giving Patricia a hug, he was like rubbing her back, and the mom noticed that there was something not right there. And then he hugs his dad too, so they're all kind of like have a little nice family moment. And then of course they're looking at him, and then now the demon's saying, "Look at your family; they're all pathetic. You'd be better off with them. Kill them, don't you think?" And then of course more people come in, and then goth Sonny goes upstairs all upset. So now we have Patricia. She's outside the house. She's like goes inside. Mom looks over to her, and she's like, she says she's gonna need to go get some more film. So she starts following Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
Trish goes up to Sonny and says, "Hey, I heard you calling me." He's like, "Well, I changed my mind." It's like, "You're feeling guilty. I'm not. Go away, you damn bitch." And then his face starts melting. All right?
Yes.
And then Patricia goes and tries to call the priest, but he's not answering. All right, and then they think they're gonna get him, but the priest's friend like put the phone off the hook. And then Dolores confronts Trish about what she's been doing with her brother. Trish doesn't say anything. She just kind of freezes. And then we're at nighttime, and Sonny's body keeps changing.
Yep, he's mutating.
You must do it.
I'm a demon.
You must do it now. And the room spins. All right. And then during all this, Trish hears mom and dad argue about the family being shameful. Patricia sees Sonny get the gun ready. Sonny goes to shoot the mom and dad, and the kids wake up. And they see Sonny, and Sonny gets the younger daughter. Patricia tries to escape. She tells the young Mark to hide, but Mark doesn't hide because Sonny gets him too. And then Sonny eventually corners Patricia and gets her too.
Yeah. This was not as far into the movie as I expected it to be.
I know, me either.
Especially when I started watching this and saw that it was like an hour and 44 minutes. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be about 15 minutes too long. But they get to this. This is what I thought would happen at the end of the movie, but they get to this part and it's not nearly as far into the movie as I thought it was.
It's like almost not even halfway.
Yeah, right.
It's like 30 to 40 minutes in the movie. Weird.
Yeah, well, yeah, like 40, 45 minutes, but yeah.
So basically what happens was, it was all a dream, kind of, in Frank's head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Frank, he kind of blew off Patricia because he wanted to go help this guy who had a stroke with his friend. So they left out of town to go visit him. But I guess Frank was having dreams about the Montel family. Do you think he dreamed them having sex together?
Oh, I bet he did.
You know what I mean? I could see Frank, he's like, you know what? I bet they're fucking. So he's having all these dreams about murder. I was thinking too, like, this guy's supposed to be like a priest, and he's having all these like dreams about sisters and people fucking and demons and all this kind of stuff. The guy killing his family. It's like, damn. Is that what it is to be a priest? It's kind of metal, I guess.
Can be, for sure.
Very interesting. So he freaks out and he's like, I gotta get out of here. He's like, where are you going? He's like, well, we gotta go to Amityville right now. Okay. So they rush, and they rush to the Amityville. So they're rushing to get back to Amityville. And when they get to the house, they can see all the cops and the police are there. And no shit, I didn't know this works, but apparently it does. He goes up to the main detectives like, hey, I'm their priest, Frank. Let me see all the dead bodies. And the cops are like, oh, shit, you're a priest? Go on ahead, man. See all the dead bodies you want.
So I think that in heavily Catholic communities, this does work.
Okay.
I think the priest is basically considered an authority figure, and they will let him in to do anything because he has to give last rites and things like that if they're Catholic. So I think that makes reasonable sense that they might actually do that, and in real life.
Yeah. So he's checking out all the bodies and he's doing his blessings on them. And then he sees Sonny, and Sonny's doing that thing where he's sad but he's laughing. It's like that sad laugh, and he's like staring a hole through the fucking priest. So they have him down at the precinct, and Frank wants to go talk to him. All right, he's like, I must see the boy. And then he talks to Sonny. He's like, did you kill him? What is inside you? What is inside you? Alison, what's inside you? What'd you have for dinner? What did you have for dinner?
What's inside me? Chicken tenders.
I had a quesadilla,
but inside
brother.
Sonny is a demon.
He's a demon in there, brother. All right. So now they cut to the funeral. All right. And basically, Frank is feeling responsible because he did not do the exorcism on the house like he wanted to. That's one thing we didn't talk about. Frank actually, when he went to the house the second time, he tried to get the church to authorize an exorcism of the house, and they were like, nah, that don't work for us, brother.
No, and of course the little guy who always plays a priest.
Yes.
And plays also a priest in this movie, and won't let him do the exorcism.
No, of course not.
Because that would solve the problem.
That's a lot of money, brother. How do you think we make our money, man? We need all these demons out there so people will come to us and pay us money.
True.
So now Frank is now just like throwing photos at Sonny. Look at them. Did you love them? All right. It's like, let me help me help you. Okay.
Yes. Help me help you.
And then I put the priest is doing some more religious talk. All right. And then the priest is about to leave, and then Sonny throws a bedpan on him. So it's freaking out. And Frank then, and I can't believe this worked. So Frank tells a detective. It's like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I think that boy right there is possessed with the demon. And then the cop's like, you know what? That happened like last month. I saw this guy was like crawling on shit. Maybe he is possessed. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Usually when people bring up possession, the first thing the cop's like, you crazy? I'm going to put you in here too? This cop is all about it. He's like, yeah, brother, you know what? Maybe you're right. He's not a crazy psychopath who fucks his sister. No, he's just a demon in there.
He's just demon possessed.
Just a demon. He didn't do nothing wrong. It was the demon.
No, nothing.
How dare he? All right, so they're like, okay, well, we got to... So basically, Frank wants to bring it back to the church so he can use more tools of Christ on him. Is that how that works?
Sure.
I know you got some holy water. You got a cross. You know what's cool? Like Castlevania, you need like a whip. You know what I mean?
To fight demons?
Like a holy whip and shit. Yeah, that fucking Sonny's demon would have been dead if we had Morning Star out of him. Come on, brother.
Yeah. I wonder if also when you're talking about how he's telling the cops that he's demon possessed and they're kind of believing him. I wonder if that could be based on the Devil Made Me Do It case, which would have been like a year before this. I would have said they're probably making this movie when that happened, though, so I kind of doubt it. But basically, it's the only time in United States history where a guy murdered another person, and then his defense was that he was possessed by the devil.
Oh yeah,
he did not win that.
Yeah,
they made a Conjuring movie about it, of course, which is actually the only good Conjuring movie in my opinion. But that's a pretty interesting case. But I have a feeling they were already making this movie when that happened.
So now, like, Frank's talking to Sonny's demon, and Sonny's demon's like, Frank was like, why can't you leave him and stuff? It's like, why would I leave him? I'm having too much fun here. Okay. And he was all saying, like, I like you, Frank. All right. And he was like, I'm going to cast you out and all this stuff. All right. And he's like, you can't cast me out, Frank. The church didn't give you permission to do any of this stuff. I know everything.
Ouch.
I was like, dang, you're not authorized, Frank, to do an exorcism. Okay.
No.
I could do what I please. You got to have authorization. So now Frank's outside and he's like looking at the house. Just like they cut the scene. He's looking at the house and the neighbor comes up to him and is like, I got crazy stories about that house. Let me go show you. So she brings him to like the library. She's like, yeah, I thought I was going to be bored reading these old newspapers, but I wasn't. See, look, the Amityville house, there was a witch from Salem that was exiled, and she tried to build the house on Indian burial grounds, and it's forbidden, and more Hollywood stuff of demons and why they're there, and more Hollywood stuff, and more Hollywood stuff, and look everybody, it hasn't been blessed yet either, until you came, Father. More Hollywood.
It's like they took every reason that anything could be possessed or haunted and put it all into one story.
Did you know that Edgar Allan Poe read poems here? Oh my God. That's haunted. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, come on now. It's like every movie there's an ancient burial ground for all this haunted shit. Mm-hmm. But the witch from Salem being exiled is a new one. I'll give them prompts on that one.
Yes. Yeah, they did that. That was new.
I just want her to explain to me, how does that work?
Like, so they didn't execute the witch or burn her at the stake. They just exiled her.
They exiled her. Was she too witchy?
We're not going to kill you. Yeah, we're just going to
we're not going to kill your ass, and I'll get rid of you. We're gonna give you this Amityville town. They're nice people. Just don't do your witch magic there, please.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So now Frank gets a ghost call from Patricia, right? Saying Sonny, she thinks that Sonny wants to kill us all right now. Well, I guess she was right.
Guess so.
So now we cut back to the court, and the lawyer's like, Judge, this man right here is not guilty. He was possessed by a demon. The judge's like, oh God. He's like, listen, man, if I let this kid go off being possessed by a demon, every dude and they're gonna come in here giving the same case, and how can I try anybody on them? It's gonna let them go scot-free. How can I do it? So
he's got a point.
Yeah, that's a great point. You're gonna have some guy over there like, yeah, brother, you know what I mean? Shot him, but I couldn't help it.
I was possessed by a demon.
Yeah, I was a demon, brother. What's the demon name? I don't know. Mark.
Mark the demon.
Yeah. So the whole demon defense cannot be held up at the court, which I'm pretty sure you got that right with that story, about that guy trying to do that. So now, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the reason that they used. What they were saying that in court was that they can't use that as a defense. I'm trying to think of the exact wording they used, but it was they basically said that there's no like scientific evidence that demons exist, so they couldn't use it as a reason.
So now Frank, after the trial and everything, is getting to talk to by the main priest. It said, like, listen, man, what are you doing here? You're telling all these cops and everything that this guy's possessed by a demon, or then we're gonna go to the house and perform an exorcism. The bishop never agreed to this. All right, and Frank's trying to argue with them. He's like, listen, the bishop will see you when he's ready, so don't touch and do anything else. So of course Frank doesn't listen because he's super religious guy. So Frank again visits Sonny. All right, and we have the cop from earlier who believed all the demon possession. They're looking at Sonny, and then they see on his arm, please save me. Show up on his arm and vanish. And Frank's like, I got to get him to the church right now. I got to get him somewhere, and I got to try to get the demon out of him. Can you please help me? He's like, man, this could be my job. So the cop agrees, and he does like a distraction, and then Frank takes Sonny with them, and he forever tries to get him to come to the church, but before they get to the church, a firewall blocks him.
Oh yes, the classic demon firewall.
Yeah, I'm surprised he couldn't do it earlier.
I know.
Maybe you only have one firewall in you.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? You gotta use it at the right
work
time.
Up to that.
So Sonny runs away. The Frank's friend shows up to the hospital, and the cop's like, yeah, that crazy priest man made the Sonny guy go away. And the friend just leaves. And then, of course, Frank goes back to the Amityville house because he knows Sonny's probably there. And he starts looking around for Sonny throughout the whole house. Eventually sees a bunch of ghosts in the magic hidden door with the water, the bugs, and the slime. There's like random ghost people in there.
Did we mention that?
Yeah, it happened right here.
No, but they found it earlier.
Yeah, I mentioned it. Yeah. You weren't paying attention, Alison?
I wasn't paying attention to anything you said.
What the hell?
I don't know. Somehow I just missed that you talked about it.
You only came here for the Sonny sexual exit page and then Anthony being pissed off. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I only came here for the sister fucking.
Yeah, I talked about it. Yeah, we don't see a lot of the magic door, but we saw about two or three times. This is one of the times. So Frank's doing all his religious talk. All right, throughout the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
All right. And then while he's like doing his religious talk with all the ghost demons, then we have some shining blood appears. Mm-hmm. Blood all around the floor, blood on the walls from the shining. And then Frank tells Sonny to. He's upstairs right now, right? He got out of the shining blood and he's upstairs and it's like raining. And he's like telling Sonny, pray for that. Pray. Get that evil out of you. Get that evil out of you, brother. And the house is now going wild. He does some more religious talk, and the house is still going wild. All the electronics of the houses are going wild. Doors flying everywhere. It's madness in there.
Madness.
So I like this part. So now, like, Sonny's, like, looking for him. And he does, like, this fear from a man, fear from death. And then Sonny's like, ah!
Because that's literally what he does, yes.
Ah. So Sonny, like, falls. So it's, I guess I put in my notes, Sonny is now full Night of the Demons. Because, like, you know, most of the movie is kind of, like, still human. But now he has come to his full demon form. Right?
Total demon, yeah.
And then, like, the priest wants to know his name. What's your name? Your name. Your name. What's your name? I guess he's trying to figure out the demon's name.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's like a classic Bible thing, too.
Yeah.
Like we talked about in the last movie, where, and, you know, when the first known case of exorcism was when, you know, Jesus exorcised the man of the demons and he wanted to know what the demon's name was. So in every single demon possession movie now, the priest always asks what the demon's name is.
So then the demon does a little trickery and he turns into Patricia. He's like, you know my name. Yeah, remember when I confessed to you? I know what you were thinking. You wanted to make love to me, didn't you?
Oof, yeah.
The priest is like, vile creature. Of course I didn't. I wanted to make love to the brother. Come on, brother. And then he's like doing some more religious talk on her. Alright. Go back to the depths of darkness. Alright. And then the demon's like, alright. It's like, I like you, priest. He turns, like, basically the demon starts turning back into his, like, self now, not Patricia anymore. He's all like, I like you, priest, and stuff. You're all alone stuff, and you disobeyed the church's orders. Alright? And then Sonny's, you know, Sonny's demon starts to grow more tumors and all, more starts to kind of come out of his head. And there's like a face that pops out. Alright? And then Frank's like freaking out and saying, No, let it be me. Let it be me. Let it be me. You know how in the original movie the guy is, Jesus. Frank's his big line was, let it be me.
Yeah, which is ripped off directly from The Exorcist.
And then Sonny I guess he's like hatching into an alien.
Okay.
Because that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
After his face melted off, and like the underneath face was like an alien. And then randomly the house blows up. The house blows up, kind of. I mean, it doesn't blow up where the whole like house caves in, but like there's like fire that comes out the windows. And then Sonny's all normal now, and even though he just turned into an alien. And then he rises up, and then he's just okay. And then the friend shows up. They say, hey, can you take Sonny to get him away from here? He's like, what about you? He's like, don't worry about me, just take him away from here. So they leave. Koch shows up. Friend's like, I can't believe this friend said it. He's like, don't worry about it, man. They'll believe you. I hope you're not my lawyer. Because they definitely ain't going to believe his ass.
No.
All right. And then we go back up to the house where the priest is at. He sees his hand. Starts to be a little veiny there. He's like, oh, it's not good. And then he sees his neck starting to be a little veiny. And now he's been taken over by the demon. And he basically,
the demon went into him.
And he basically was calling out to Jesus or something to like save his flesh or body and stuff. And then we see a for sale sign at the house, and the Amityville will continue.
Yeah, which is kind of implied in a way that the Lutz family is going to buy the house next, even though the movie seems like it takes place after the first movie.
Yes.
And then I guess Frank's still inside the house, demon possessed.
Yeah, even though there was like no demons in the fucking first movie.
No, it has nothing to do with demons.
Yes. Very interesting. So there you go, everybody. Amityville 2: The Possession. Some of my final thoughts. I mean, I thought the movie was well acted.
Yes, Burt Young was great.
I thought it looked cool. I did like the demon transformation of Sonny. But some of the plot and the plot twists, I wasn't really it wasn't doing it for me. I thought it was like too, like you were saying, I think it was like too copying of The Exorcist in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, it kind of does the DeFeo story, and then it just switches just to the end of the. Well, they just take the end of The Exorcist, put that on the end of the movie.
Yep, pretty much.
In a lot of ways.
That's how you do it, man. So, but yeah, everybody, Amityville 2, very interesting. But join us here maybe for tomorrow. We're not sure yet.
Maybe.
Or if not, we're definitely going to do this one. We're going to do it definitely before the month is over. I'm going to try to put this one out tomorrow if we can. Me and Alison can get this one done. If not, then it will probably be next Sunday's review, and then we'll get the number 4 one out earlier. But we are going to be doing Amityville 3D.
Ooh. As all of those 3 movies in the 80s did, 3D.
I can't wait, brother. If this is
Jaws
anything...
3D, Friday the 13th 3D.
Oh, my God. If it's anything like Friday the 13th 3D, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Sign me up, brother. I have never seen this movie at all. Have you ever seen any of these Amityvilles? So this is all new for both of us, huh?
Yeah, I'd seen the first one.
Yeah.
And but I thought this would be like one of the better ones, but after seeing this, I'm kind of afraid to watch Amityville 3.
Don't worry about it, man. There's only 41 more to go.
Yeah, we should do a podcast where we just review every single one of them.
Just imagine that. God, just imagine we got like number 20. It's like, can this shit be over yet?
It's like, oh my God, I can't believe we started this. Yeah.
I think my favorite was that Amityville wasn't Strap On. What was it?
Vibrator. Vibrator. Yeah.
That's the one. Maybe that's the one that Sonny and Patricia. Maybe they rented that one out.
That's the lost scenes that they cut out of this movie. They turned that into Amityville Vibrator.
Maybe if they just made a whole movie with the lost scenes from this movie.
Wow.
Oh, very interesting. But everybody, join us. I can't wait to talk about Amityville 3D. It's going to be a fun Halloween season. Once we can kind of get some stuff back to normal, make our season be a little bit more intense.
Our schedule is going to be weird for a little while, but all the shows will come out. Yeah, just maybe not on time.
Yes, and now Alison, before we get out of here, I just want to know: do you have your Halloween Havoc booked yet or no?
I do.
Yes, because I do have mine too. So let's tell the audience of which Halloween Havocs that we are going to do. All right, for the third annual battle of the Halloween Havocs. Would you like to go first of yours?
No, I want you to go first. I want mine to be a surprise. I'll tell you after you tell me what yours is.
All right. So mine, let me pull it up over here. Let's see if I can get the dates on this one. Mm-hmm. Mine over here is actually so this one is pretty interesting because this one I'm doing is actually a NXT special. Okay. So for Halloween Havocs for NXT, it's not like a pay-per-view or a PLED. It's kind of like a special TV show that they do, and they've been doing it.
Wasn't it 2 parts?
Yeah, it's a 2-parter, but this one's not. This one's just a 1-parter. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because this is not the first Halloween Havoc they did. I think this is like the second one they did, but it's from WWE NXT. You can find this on Peacock. Season 15, Episode 43, October 26, 2021 is the Halloween Havoc special. And the reason I'm picking this one is because It has one of my favorite scenes that I really want you to watch, Alison, and everybody else out there. It has Trick Daddy, Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes going through Dexter Loomis's house. Haunted house.
Oh, yeah. How many matches does your show have?
I don't know. I didn't count them all. But
okay,
we'll figure it out with the matches. Maybe we'll just go segment and stuff like that. But it has a pretty good, decent amount of matches on there.
So I am going out on a limb with this one, and I didn't know if I wanted to pick this, but I haven't lost yet. So I am going out on a limb, and I am picking Halloween Havoc 2000.
Oh shit.
This is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be a rough one, man. Like, I was actually watching recently a little bit of Halloween, because I was thinking about doing that one myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching a little bit. I was like, oh, God.
This show's going to be better than you think. That's what I predict.
Well, I guess we'll see. I don't think it is, but we'll see. But everybody...
Come on, man. General Erection's on it.
I mean, yeah. Come on. Come on now. Don't they have a lot? I think they both have I think they both have ladder matches on these shows.
I think so, yeah.
Very interesting. But everybody check it out. Like I said, you can find mine October 26, 2021, WWE NXT Season 15, Episode 43. And you can find Alison's on the Peacock as well. Just go under WCW Halloween Havocs and find the 2001.
That'll be the last one. And
yes.
The last one they ever made.
The last one WCW ever made. So, but everybody, how about we bring back the music on here, and let's play a little bit of Demon's Night.
Let's do it
on here, because it definitely was a Demon's Night at the Amityville house.
Absolutely.
Sonny up there getting tumors, having relations with his sister, shooting his family, blaming everything on a demon. We have
all
Frank,
the Halloween party stuff.
We have Frank throwing blood around. We have Anthony being pissed off until the day he died. Demon's Night is definitely where it is. So.
Let's do it.
J.H. Alison, James Kline. We will see you all here later for Amityville 3D.
Oh, yeah. See you guys.
See ya.